Hey, what's going on, Charisma? Man, y'all fought hard tonight. Like you had 22 points. Michaela had 33, a career high. Just what's your overall thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think that everyone on our team played really hard, and we've been talking about being the more tougher, more together team. I felt like tonight we did that, and we didn't let any runs that Oregon had get in our head, and we just had that next play mentality, and I feel like that just helped us out a lot. And then just Mick, she's doing what she's always doing, which is always helpful for us, but she did a great job, and I think everyone did a great job as well.
Was there a point y'all was trying to prove tonight? Oregon came in at 8-0 tonight, and then you all gave them their first loss of the season. Was that a point you wanted to make tonight?
Honestly, I think our biggest focus was just trying to grow from the last two top 10 matchups, or Arizona and Stanford, and we wanted to just see some growth from those games. And I think our experience from those two games helped us a lot tonight.
Sue, you're up.
Charisma, you guys played with so much tenacity, and what they made those two runs and cut that lead down to nothing. What were you thinking when that happened, and how did you guys regroup and then step on the gas?
Yeah, I think that we didn't let that rattle us. Like, we talk about staying neutral and just like moving on to the next play. And I felt like everyone on the court, or if they were on the bench, helped with that. So I think that just like staying neutral and just having that next play mentality really helped.
Also, can you talk about Mick's performance tonight? She was just unbelievable, got her career high. Can you talk about what she did out there on the floor, and especially, and she kept it together too when she made that turnover at the end as well. She kept poised.
Yeah, it's amazing to see Mick play every day in practice. She's one of the hardest workers that I've ever seen. So for her to come out here and score 33 points is just no surprise to me. And it's always just so fun playing with her because she's a good teammate, whether she's having a good game or not. So I'm just really proud of how she played. They're trying to double team her, triple team her, and she was still making good reads, passing out, getting good shots for herself. So I'm just really proud of how she played.
And one more just to follow up. It seems like a lot of people are surprised that you guys won, but are you surprised that you guys won?
Absolutely not. I'm not surprised at all. We came in here expecting to win. We've been working hard, and I'm not surprised at all that we won.
John, go ahead.
Yeah, you had that play late where you stepped on the baseline, and I noticed afterwards Lauren Miller came up to you and said something to you to kind of like lift your spirits. Do you remember what she said and like how she uses her leadership on the team?
Yeah, Lauren's leadership is huge. We were talking about that a lot this week with her using her voice and how powerful it is. But I'm pretty sure she just told me, next play, it's okay. We'll get our next stop on defense. And I think that just helped me a lot. There was a lot of my other teammates helped me out with that too. But she just kept me calm and just told me to move on to the next play, and we got it.
All right, any other questions? Oh, one more here. Okay, go ahead.
Correct. I got one last question. Michaela became 14th all time on the UCLA women's scoring list. Can you just talk about just how hard she's been working since the time that you've been there, and also did she know that she had a chance to become 14th all time?
I'm pretty sure she doesn't know that. We don't really talk about it much, and she wouldn't even care if she had 14 overall. She's really just trying to be the best teammate for this team and the best leader. But like I said, I'm really proud of her, and like all of the hard work that she does shows on the court every night, and she proves why she's one of the top players in the country every night.
Gavin, go ahead.
Yeah, there was a point in the game where Michaela went out and you responded and you hit a big three. And then obviously later in the game, you went out and Michaela ended up having a run of her own. And so just speak a little bit, how does it feel that know that you have someone on your team that can always step up whenever, someone goes down? And then also just how are you feeling with the injury?
Yeah, It's amazing. It's not even just Michaela. Anyone on this team can step up at any moment. And I think that's why our team is so versatile. And I think that's why we'll be really good continuing on. But it's just always nice to know that we all have each other's back. But for nothing too serious. I'm just going to work on my calf and hope.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a nice day.
And we'll have Michaela coming up next.
Hi.
Hi, Michaela. We're gonna start with Sue.
Hey, hi, Michaela. Congratulations on your career high. That was amazing. There was a little bit of something being made of you guys were coming in without having played for about 10 days or so. How did you guys come into this game as far as, because sometimes that can be a little bit of a lapse, because you guys came in with such intensity and fire and then you never let up. How did you prepare for this game and how did you guys maintain that tenacity throughout the game, especially when the Oregon made their 2 runs?
Yeah, like you said, we haven't played in 10 days. Our last loss was against Stanford. And we really talked about that game a lot. We analyzed it a lot and just kind of talked about how many plays that we did play our hardest and our toughest. And those are things that we can control, that are completely under our control. And so just going into this game, we knew there was going to be another top 10 matchup against a great Oregon team that we always go back and forth with. And so that was really the focus about who can be the more tough and together team. And I think we really, really drilled that in through practice up until shoot around yesterday. And yeah, I'm just super proud of my team for coming out today and continue to kind of respond every single time they made a run. And we never got down on ourselves. We kept talking to one another, talking about we believe in one another. We've been here before. We played 2 top 10 teams within the last 2 weeks. So we've been here before and we know exactly how to execute in this situation.
Hey, what's going on, Michaela? You had a great game tonight, 33 points. You basically put the team on your back tonight with your leadership, scoring, and things of that nature. Did you know you became 14th all time on the women's scoring list today?
I didn't. That's cool.
Yeah, congratulations. And then, what was the mindset you all came in? You all knew that Oregon was 8-0. Did you all did y'all want to put a stamp on this game? Did y'all make sure you wanted to prove a point?
Well, we just really, really harped on being the more tough and together team. I think that was kind of the consensus since we played our last game. And we knew, like I said, in Stanford, we didn't do those things and execute those things well that we could control. So that was really, really emphasis coming into this game. And we know that in this conference, you're going to get everybody's best game and everybody's going to be coming at you. And so we knew that we had to do that in order to kind of come up with the win in this game. And like I said, we were gritty, we were tough in the right moments, and we stayed together, which I'm super proud of.
Gavin, go ahead.
Yeah, congrats on the win. I asked a similar question to Charisma. There was a portion of the game where obviously you went down and she was able to step up and hit a big 3 while you were out. And then obviously later in the game, she went down and you obviously had an amazing 4th quarter of your own. How does it feel just knowing you have someone else that can step up when you go down and make a couple big baskets? And then same question to you, how are you feeling after your little injury as well?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm super proud of Charisma for just being a dog. She's like my little sister. And so just to see her kind of flourish in those settings is super cool. But then again, it's really not just Charisma. It's everybody on this team who is super, super versatile and is able to really, really score when we need them. And I'm fine. It was just some cramps in my legs that I'll be okay with.
Tiffany, go ahead.
Michaela, can you talk a little bit about Lauren, especially on defense in the last 9 seconds that seemed like it was like 30 minutes, but just helping get those last 2 stops and kind of the smarts she has on defense as a senior to help you guys hold it down and survive for this win.
Yeah, I'm super proud of Lauren for just being super level-headed and just responding much quicker than she has in the past. And those were really, really big defensive plays that we needed. I was on the ball and guarding, obviously, somebody who was smaller than me. So for her to come over and help and really have that heads-up play and creating that jump ball, it's just such a leader in our team. And she might not show that statistically all the time, but she does such the little things that really, really matter and keeps our team together.
John, go ahead.
Yeah, you had a stretch there in the second half where you just, I think it was 10 points, 6 points, something in a row, and they were sending triple teams at you, and you're still scoring. What does it feel when you're in this zone like that you get the ball and they have to send triple teams to stop you?
Am I frozen?
Oh,
I'm sorry. I think I froze. I didn't hear any of that. I'm sorry.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear me? All right, cool. You had a stretch there in the second half where they were sending triple teams at you and you're still finding ways to split it and score. What does it kind of feel when you're in the zone when you just catch the ball and you know you can just go to the bucket and get a basket?
I think I heard most of the question. I'm trying to piece it together. I think you asked me about triple teams. So, just like coming into these settings, I know that obviously teams are going to game plan around me. And so I've just been working a lot. And so just like credit to my coaches as well, just been telling me a lot, like you're going to grasp a lot of attention from teams. And so it's not just about how much I can score and how well I can rebound, but it's also about how I can get my teammates open and how I can kind of assist the ball to them when they're coming at me with triple teams and double teams. And those are just things that I've been working on because I know just going forward, that's going to be the game plan for a lot of teams. And so I'm really, really proud of my teammates and I have a lot of trust in them when I kick the ball out, they're going to make shots, make plays and stuff like that. Sorry, I hope I answered your question. I didn't really hear you that well, but I hope I answered your question.
Okay, we're gonna go to Michelle.
Yeah, Michaela, great game today. Congratulations. You know, we obviously one of the stories this year in women's basketball is you guys being shorthanded. That's totally beyond your control. But at some point, have you guys just stopped maybe thinking about that very much and just said, hey, this is where we are. We added in one new player, but we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on who's there because that can be hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. Like this year, 2020 has just been such an unprecedented time. And so just to dwell on things like that doesn't really help in our favor. And so we talk about it where we're just like 8 is enough, 9 is enough, whatever we have is enough, 7 is enough. And it has showed to be enough. And so we know that regardless of what we're going to go through, we have our little circle of people, little circle of teammates and little circle of family that we can count on. And so it's tough, yeah, but I mean, that's what we kind of are built for. And so there's no really reason to keep talking about it because we know we have everything we need in our circle.
Gavin, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just curious, as one of the leaders of the team, how'd you feel about Dominique's first game? Obviously such a crazy environment and just everything going on, only a few practices before the game, and she played a couple minutes, she had a basket, and so just what do you think of her performance?
Yeah, I'm super proud of Dominique. Just to be able to come in here as a high school senior, I know I would not be able to do that. So credit to her for coming and she's getting a lot thrown at her and she's just taking it with grace. And so I'm super proud of her and she's not being asked to do a whole lot, but what she does bring to us is a lot of energy, defensive energy, and just stuff like that. And so for her to come in and score her first college points, I'm super proud of her. And I know that as she continues to grow in her role, that she's going to be really, really good at UCLA. And so I'm proud of her.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Okay, Kahari, go ahead.
You just mentioned Dominique being a high school senior. When you was a high school senior coming into UCLA, with all the accomplishments you made here during your time here, did you ever envision you to be able to make history like you're doing right now?
No, honestly, when I was a freshman, I was kind of just like, I'm here for the ride. Like, I'm super happy to be in LA, like kind of just super naive and just kind of enjoying my experience at UCLA. But I'm just super grateful that I have coaches and staff around me who have really, really built me into the woman I am on and off the court. And so, no, this wasn't expected, but I'm happy that I'm able to grow as a person here with the people that I'm growing with.
Okay. Thanks, Michaela. Congratulations.
All right, thank y'all. Have a good, weekend?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Cori. We can start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll go to questions following that.
Oh, I mean, I'm just really proud of our toughness and togetherness. I'll be really honest with you that when that first Pac-12 schedule came out and I saw the gauntlet that we were going to start with, I was like, whew. And then we lose to Arizona, a close game, and against Stanford. But it was really interesting. I think that paid off for us tonight. In the huddles, the players were like, we've been here before. We know what to do. And I just think there was some confidence earned, even though we didn't get rewarded for the win. What we learned and what we built inside of us from those experiences was, I think, really important. And I think it played a major factor that we had been in those scenarios and Oregon had not at this point. But what a great game, and credit to them. We bring out the best in each other. We always have these like knockdown, drag out games through the years. And, it's going to be fun to watch us continue to compete and do that.
Okay, we're going to start with Gavin. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. Talk about just all the adversity that you faced in this game. You have, Charisma go down at one point. You have Michaela go down at one point. Cameron fouls out. And then in the last minute of the game, a couple turnovers, right, when you're trying to close out the game. Just obviously a ton of adversity, but, what can you just say about what you learned from your team in such a wild game?
Well, I think that's where we have matured, and that one mistake didn't create three mistakes. And especially in those segments where they made some big runs, I think that, and we still have a lot to learn. We made a lot of mistakes there, but we have a phrase in our program that we've learned from Focus 3 that we need to strengthen our R, which is our response, to be greater than any event that we're going to face. And we had a lot of events that didn't go our way. You named a bunch of them. But I think our response time and being present, focused in the next play was really good. I really called out Lauren Miller. I mean, she had a horrific warm up. I mean, she was like airballing shots all over the place. And I thought, oh boy, and here she comes back. And I thought she just was so steady for us in so many ways. We switched all those screens in the last minute, and watching her jump out in there. And I just thought that it was how we handled adversity. And she's just an example of that she's grown so much in that. She's matured. And that was really fun for me to see. But I mean, Tony said something after the Stanford game that I thought was really important. He's like, if these are all going to be hard, every single one of these top games are going to be really, really hard. And you got to go right into the hard and embrace it. And, quit trying to, think it's going to be easy. It's not. And I thought we really came in with a mindset today. And I also, starting to press, we really have hardly any people. And I was really hesitant. And Coach Tony came into our game plan meeting and saying, we're not as tired as we think we are. We're best when we press, especially against Oregon. It's the right thing to do. We need to buck up and go. And I thought it set the tone for us. And I got to give Coach Tony a lot of credit, because I'll be honest, I was a little hesitant, and I thought, but I thought he was right. And so I got to give him a lot of credit, because I thought it set the tone for those kind of toughness plays and response plays.
All right, your mic is open.
Hey, what's going on, Coach? Great game tonight. Your team overcame a lot of adversity. Can you talk about just from the transition from the Stanford game to this game, and what are the things that they learned? Because it seemed like you guys wanted to make a stamp on this game. Oregon was 8-0 tonight, and you all broke it.
Well, I think we had some really painful film sessions after that Stanford game. And, I think that you have to say you either want the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And unfortunately, against Stanford, we had some pain of regret. And we had to look in the mirror and go, you know what, Stanford they were the more tough and together team. And 90+% of the time, the more tough and together team makes enough plays to win. And there's never going to be a perfect game. And I think we had to really own that. And that was painful. And we lost a game, not because we got the perfect tactician or game plan, but because somebody else was tougher than us. And I think we really took that to heart. And I thought Lindsay Casaro, especially, I thought her toughness and leadership today was remarkable. And it was sort of culminated with that last rebound, right, that she had to fight for. But, you know, I think that's, you know, I think this time, believe me, we've got some beat up people in that locker room, but there's no pain of regret. But there's pain of discipline, but we'll take that any day. And I think we learned a lot, and we had to, you know, I think all of us in our lives, when something really hurts and you care about something a lot, it forces you to grow in new ways. And I always say that if you handle pain and adversity appropriately and correctly, it can buy you a ticket to a place you would never have been able to go otherwise. And I Tony. And I thought that adversity and the way we handled that adversity bought us a ticket to maybe a place we wouldn't have been able to go otherwise.
So go ahead.
Hey, Cori. Yes, you guys definitely came in with a mindset, and I wondered if you could tell us was there anything you said to them on the two different occasions in the second and the fourth when Oregon came all the way back to like tie the game? Because those were some pivotal moments. And then my second part of my question would be if you could speak on Michaela Onyenwere's tenacity and doggedness today, because I thought even in Michaela fashion, she was especially tenacious today.
Yeah. I think that to your first point, I think it's sort of, you know, in anything in these games, you know, you got to remember who you are and how. I think when they made those runs, we needed to remind ourselves, who are we? How do we at our best and when? Sort of group. And so, and, you know, I think we talk about that nobody focuses perfectly 100% of the time, but the team that can refocus quicker usually makes the adjustments needed. And I thought they were really good in huddles that way. And so we just talked about, you know, who are we? What did we say we had to do? And, you know, we lost track of that a second. Rebounding, number one. And when in both of those runs, I thought they made rebounding plays that were really important, and they got the ball inside and we played behind. And both of those things were things we said we couldn't do. So, you know, we sort of remember what you forgot. And so that's sort of how we did, but they're mature that way, and they're good on those kind of fronts. So it wasn't anything earth shattering, but remember who we are, remember what the game plan is, and let's get back to that. Secondly, you know, Michaela, I just, you know, she's just phenomenal. She's just, the thing that makes me so happy about her, and I said this in the locker room, is that she's the exact same, whether she has a game like she did tonight or she has a game where she struggles. It's never about Michaela. And she gives everything she has, and her energy, her talk, her enthusiasm for her team, it doesn't change. And depending on what kind of night it is. And I just think that's such a testimony to her character and who she is as a human being. So I'm just as proud as that, but she puts in work. She studies film. She watches, you know, relentless amounts of basketball. She comes in early. She has a very distinct routine that she does to add to her toolbox. She does it every single day, and she's not been healthy all year. And to watch her battle through that, this is the least healthy she's been in her career here. And to watch her sort of mind over matter has been remarkable. So it's just fun to celebrate her because she gives so much to this program and to this team.
All right, any other questions? Okay, Kahari, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I'm back. So what was going through your mind? I got two questions. What was going through your mind when UCLA went on that 9-0? I mean, not UCLA, but Oregon went on that 9-0 run to come back, and you know you all thinking about the win, and then you all stay resilient. And also, I asked Michaela this as well. Did the accomplishments that she made throughout her career at UCLA, did you see her, you know, coming this far when she was a freshman?
Well, first of all, on the runs that they made, I mean, you know, Kelly's a great coach, or a really good team. They have a ton of weapons. I didn't think they were going to let us run away with it. Right. And so I thought that, I really thought, a couple times we had chances to go out again. We got 2 run out layups. I think it was a 4-point game they'd close, or maybe even a 2-point game. We didn't, Natalie, Lauren, and Cameron had run out layups and we missed them all. And so I thought, oh boy, this could be tough. But again, it goes back to being present, and being present, focus, and not letting one play, good or bad, affect your ability to focus on what is needed for me. We always say, you got to ask yourself the question, what does the team need from me right now? And you got to be able to answer that in real time. And so, it definitely was, they got some momentum going and it was tough. And we, whether we wanted to switch and that high ball screen, and they were trying to really go inside to Sabali. But the reality is we didn't want them to get going from the 3-point line. So if we had a few of those, that's okay. But it's interesting when you look at the stat sheet, how even it was across the board. And the difference was the free throw line. We had a couple more free throws and that is it. But it's we shot a little bit better from that, but it was a pretty even game outside of that. What was your second question about Michaela again?
Ooh, hold on.
Oh, as a freshman, it's interesting. She always talks about our end of the year evaluation meeting when I said, it's time for you to be the go-to. And she said, she never thought that about herself. I remember watching her in an AAU game in Atlanta, and I was sitting next to Lance White, who I worked with when I was at Florida State. And he said, she's my favorite player I've watched in 10 years. And she just played just like she is. She was this athlete. She actually wasn't a very good basketball player at that time, but she played so hard and you could tell she was all about the team. And so those exact same things that we're saying about her now, she's just added skill and she's put so much work in to put herself in this position. But because she played so hard, she was so athletic and she was all about the team, I thought, that's a pretty good base to build from, right? And so if you've got great athleticism and work ethic and you're all about the team, I can teach the other things. And so I'm not sure, if I'm being honest, I saw her being a top 5 draft pick, which I think she's putting herself in a position to be, but I thought she could be pretty special.
Gavin, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, with all the different storylines in this game, you almost forget the fact that you have a new coming, player, high school senior making her debut against a top 10 team. What do you think of her performance? Obviously not a ton of minutes, but she did score and, allowed you guys to press at times when you were saying you wanted her to be able to do that. So what do you think of her performance?
Yeah, it was gutsy. She was like emotional before the game. And, she is just a lot for a high school senior. And, this literally been all happened in about 6 weeks period of time. Like, okay, this could happen and let's pursue if this is a possibility. And then all of a sudden she's here and she gets out of quarantine on the 24th. She has her first practice on the 26th. She has literally 4 practices and she's thrown into a game on the road against Oregon. So, I thought to that first, shot from the corner probably wasn't the best, but not only did she scored and got the layup and finished at a high speed, but she got a great pass on the break that facilitated a layup for us in transition. So I really was proud of her. And I thought after that first rotation, she did a really good job. She's going to learn a lot. She made some mistakes. I think there's a ton of things to learn from, but that took some guts, and really proud of Dominique. I'm really thankful for all the people in her family and also at her school that made this happen, made it a possibility for her. But she's fit in with our team so well. And I only see her opportunities continuing to increase.
Okay, we have time for a few more questions. Sue, go ahead.
Hey, Cori Close, I just thought of one thing. The broadcaster today said Michaela is going to keep having dinner with you and inform you whether or not she's going to come back for a 5th year. Is that true?
Well, part of that's true. We just have decided that we're going to check in on that once a month. And so we are going to, she's not going to it's not like this big information thing, but I was just like, how do I help you through this? Like, are you feeling pressure or do you need to, what can we do? And so Shannon and I did have dinner with her and said, okay, You know, what does it look like for you to make this decision? Do you feel like if you made it now, it would take pressure off, or do you feel like you want to see how the season goes? Or, you know, it's her decision. We support her in whatever she wants to do. This is just about serving her. And you know, I didn't know if she was feeling the pressure or not. And so that was her idea. She said, well, maybe we could check in and meet once a month and just say, how are things going? How are you feeling? Is there any adjustments we need to make? So, you know, so I have no idea what she's going to do. I would, you know, if she keeps playing this way, it's going to be hard to not go to the league. And so, but you know, she's earned the right to make any decision that's best for her and her life. She's given everything to this program and this university.
Thanks so much.
Any last questions?
I really appreciate all of you guys being here as usual. And I just think all the storylines in this game on both teams. I mean, this is why we want to play in the Pac-12, is that you get to test yourself against the best, but nobody knows about it if you guys don't show up. And continuing to be able to tell these stories and be able to have national media coverage as well as local media coverage, please know that never goes unnoticed or unappreciated. And we want to we believe this is the best conference in the country, and we want the world to know about it. And you guys help make us do that. So thank you so much for caring about growing our sport and for showing up day in and day out.
Thank you, Cori.